Good morning, everybody. Today we're at Rocky Fork, and I went to Paint Creek first, but the docks and everything were just completely flooded. So I had to come to Rocky Fork. And thank God I already got a fish. Already got a fish. Aha. The problem is I didn't really set the hook on that one. I kind of just let him take it. I should have caught that fish. That was stupid. Very stupid of me. You know, I should have caught that one. So what I'm using today is I'm using a Ned rig. And of course I'm using Z-Man. And I'm using a really light setup for this. Really short rod, light line. I'm kind of just bouncing off the bottom, kind of working it a little bit. I can't believe I just had a bite and I missed it. It's just me not hooking it. See, the thing with the Ned rig is you can't yank on it like that. You can't set the hook like you usually do. You have to kind of lean into the hook set on it, because you'll yank it out of their mouth, and I was a little too delicate on that one. I should have just reeled it in. I'm gonna unloosen my drag a little bit here, because I think I would have got him if I didn't have my drag set a little better. Kind of just spit it out. So my goal today is I'm just going to slowly work baits today. When it warms up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and go with the crankbait. I already got one. So let's see what I caught today. I'll take it. It's a good hook set too. So this is the Ned rig. Mushroom head with Z-Elastic. And look how far you can stretch that thing. You can catch fish all day on it. I'm using the bigger hook and the heavier weight so I can cast it a little further. And the good thing about the Ned rig is that you can catch bluegill, you can catch bass, you catch small bass, you catch big bass. good thing about the old Ned rig. Not too bad. Just started fishing and caught a fish already. Not too shabby. So this is what they're wanting right now. So I'm just going to finesse fish. Try something a little different than what other people are fishing with. And see if we can catch a bunch of fish today. Yeah, even this loading dock is, or this ramp dock is flooded. So you got to get in the boat and kind of be tricky. Something about this finesse fishing is awesome. Just, you know, light line. I use braided. People use. What's that, bud? I know. It's been tricky. I was at Paint Creek first and it was completely flooded.
Doing any good?
Yeah, I caught one already.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Any size?
Nah. I'm just Ned rigging. Seeing what they're wanting to bite on.
There you go.
But yeah, I was at Paint Creek earlier and it's flooded. I couldn't even put my boat in.
Huh?
I couldn't even put the boat in at Paint Creek.
No.
It's flooded.
My uncle said that earlier this year, it was flooded so deep that the telephone poles in the parking lot were under. Top of the telephone.
Wow. That's crazy. I know I'm going to catch more fish. Just got to give it time, got to work it. There's another tournament going on today, and there's going to be over 100 boats out here today, so I'm trying to catch stuff. I'm trying to grab my own little spots before everybody else gets here. I got a weed guard on my mushroom head too because this is Rocky Fork for a reason. There's a lot of rocks, stumps, things to get tied up on. So I want to make sure that I can make that hook as, you know, I want to make sure that hook doesn't get set in a bunch of trees and limbs, because when you finesse fish like this, that's where you want to be. You want to be right around all that weeds and that wood and stuff. And I'm using a little Fluger, man. It's a small little spinning reel, gear ratio 5:1. It's 6-foot pole, but let me tell you, you just seem like you cast a lot further on these finesse, you know, this finesse fishing when you're using light tackle. Well, 2 fish within the first 15 minutes of biting. That's not too bad. And out of 2 bites, I got 1 of them. So odds are pretty good right now. With 100 boats on the water, still catching fish pretty quick. So, you know, it's all about making that bait do different things each time that you cast it. Kind of bobbing it, kind of scraping it on the bottom a little bit, kind of bouncing it around. Sometimes if you just take and have some slack in your pole and just kind of move it up and down a little bit, it makes that bait just kind of sit there and you can kind of move it and lets it kind of flutter a little bit. Kind of looks like a fish or something else. And something's just with these stick baits, man, I tell you, they're just, you know, they're just awesome. So again, that's, you know, I've got watermelon green and I got a weed guard on that hook, and I'm just going to keep on just fishing the bottom. Let it bounce, let it do some different actions. You know, sometimes let it sit a little bit. But I'm gonna work myself around here. Even though there's 2 boats that's already been down this bank, I should be able to catch something over here. People say that with these finesse fish, when you finesse fish a lot of times, that you don't really get big fish on it. Well, that's not true. You can catch some big bass on these little small hooks and presentations. You know, the whole point about going fishing is catching something, right? And with this Ned rig, you usually catch crappie, bluegill. I caught a catfish on it before. You know, catfish you wouldn't expect, but you know, I've caught catfish on crankbaits before, so why wouldn't they bite a bouncing plastic? You know, just not too far of a cast, just enough. I really did not want to come to Rocky Fork today because I knew that it was going to be like this. Be 100 boats out here or more today. I think there's a youth tournament going on today. It's crazy. Like, I was reading, you know, doing my research last night on Paint Creek, and they were talking about how the water was down. And I'm like, okay, so I go out there and the water is not down. It's so up that you can't even put your boat in. You can't even get close to the water without, you know, you can't even put your boat in. We had a lot of rain. I mean, I never seen this boat ramp so flooded where you couldn't even tie your boat off. So I had to use some ingenuity, some luck, I guess, to get the boat in the water today. You see, it's beautiful out here. It really is. You know, I do love this lake, don't get me wrong. It's just that there's so many tournaments going on. You know, it's overfished. I mean, people are out here, over 100 boats every weekend. I mean, that's insane. If it ain't a bass tournament or a youth tournament or some kind of group tournament, there's a catfish tournament, a crappie tournaments. I mean, it's hard to catch fish when you got all these anglers around you all the time. You know, just trying to find a good place to fish. I'm just hoping that I'm using something different than everybody else is. I do see the guys in front of me look like they're using plastics. Maybe worm. But you know, these guys pay to fish or get paid to fish, so they know what they're doing. For me, I just know what I like to catch and what to use and what I'm comfortable with. I haven't used a Ned rig in a long time, so I figure, what, you know, early morning, something a little slower presentation, wait till it warms up a little more, and then we can go ahead and start using some square bills and some crankbaits and stuff that's my preferred method of fishing. It was weird though. I got some good bites over there. I just saw a fish over there by where I just casted just come up out of the water to chase something. Look like he was chasing a bait fish. So I'm going to throw back over there in that spot again because you never know.